But in times like this, you have to have those conversations. You have to have those conversations in your business and in your home, right? And when I say stop the bleeding, we're gonna get into like what are some of the core competencies of your business? What do you cut and what do you not cut? What do you eliminate in your business? What do you maybe hit the pause button on? But one thing I'll tell you, I'm not talking about marketing. Some people think one of the things that businesses do is they will cut their marketing. And one of my very, very, very first mentors, he talked about, he said, that is the kiss of death in a business, is whenever a business stops their marketing, ceases to market, that is the kiss of death. So we're going to talk about that a little bit here as well today. So things you need to start doing immediately, I'm sure some of you may have already started doing this, is prioritizing your expenses, okay? Create a working budget and protect your cash flow. Figuring out, and this is sinus, by the way, in case y'all wondering, this is sinus. It's not corona, it's sinus, knock on wood. But you got to protect your cash flow. So I'm not sure if any of y'all saw this, but I recorded another video on my YouTube channel last week. And what I was doing was communicating with my private lenders. And because I was sitting down looking at, okay, what is my cash flow position like? My cash flow position is wonderful if everybody pays, right? If everybody pays, all is well in the kingdom of Brant's little real estate kingdom. Every single month, on average, I have around $70,000 worth of mortgages that I need to pay. They're going out. So in order for my business, right, to sustain itself and continue going, cash flow is the lifeblood of my business. So I need the money coming in so that I can get money going out, and so money keeps coming in, right? In and out, just like oxygen. In and out, in and out. And that's what we need. So what I did with my lenders was, and if y'all watch this video, I'm not sure if y'all watched it or not, but if you haven't watched it, watch it, because one of the reasons I shot that video is what kind of triggered it, if you will, is I got copied in on an email from another investor to their lender, their private lender, saying, hey, I may need to put my payments on hold for a few months in case I don't get rent. And I was just like, well, in case April hasn't even came yet, right? So that's what I started looking at, and I started thinking about, man, there's so much fear going on right now, and I don't want to experience it, but I'm experienced like everybody else, and so I'm working through it. So one of the ways that I work through my fear is to put down on paper, what are my concerns, what are my action plans, what do I need to do, et cetera, et cetera. And then that begins to alleviate my fear. So I shot a video saying, hey, private lenders, I want you to know all is well. I built a business where I have some reserves, 2 to 3 months of reserves, in the event that the worst case scenario kind of happens. And I'm not asking for any favors right now, but I also let them know I may ask for some favors, right? I may ask for some favors, not that I'm not going to pay you, because I've always performed and I'm very proud of that. But these are tough times. So I may say, hey, can we hit the pause button for a few months, and I pay you when the property sells, I pay you in 6 months from now. And so I've kind of put out those conversations that we may need to have, because the thing that I have to do, I have to protect my business, and I have to protect my lenders' capital and their investments no matter what, right? So those are non-negotiable. Now, it means what may be negotiable are certain agreements that we have may need to be restructured and altered to get us through this time. One of the ways I like to have this conversation, guys, with my private lenders or other people, rehab projects. But right now we're talking about private lenders. So one of the ways I'll frame this a lot of times, and it's not a lot of times, it's rarely happened, but this conversation has been in my mind where it's like, the thing is your loan, your investment with us is kind of like a plane ride, right? Like we took off and we had our launch into the air, ascension, and where we're at right now is, we may be experiencing some turbulence coming up. So I need everybody to put on your seatbelt. The cabin is restricted right now to a seatbelt only, and just be prepared for some turbulence. But I assure you that we're going to land this plane and it will be a safe ride, but we're going to go through some stuff. So we all know, as long as you have a business, as long as you're a real estate investor, you're going to have expenses. So the harder times get, it may be a little bit harder to get that cash flow coming in. So you got to just make a list, narrow your expenses down to, what are the most essential, and number them that way. All of your expenses from 1 to 100, or however many expenses that you have in your business, and you figure out, hey, do I need this? Is it essential? Is it negotiable, or can I eliminate it, or just automate it, or whatever, squash it, or maybe even do it myself. For example, we were hiring a new VA. We just hired a new VA last week. It's not a big expense. It's $400 or $500 a month. But to be honest, I'm thinking about it. My other VA, who was kind of working both positions, did a darn good job of it. And there was occasions she was having to work a little bit overtime on occasion, but that is a decision we're probably going to make. Do we need to keep this VA? You need to look at your non-essential things, because you have to be very, very cautious right now, and don't waste money on things that you can pay for later. If there's certain vendors or services that you can pause or delay or set up on a payment plan or defer some things, you may need to do that. You may need to do that because just in case, because if you play out some of these what if scenarios, not in a negative way, just as in a responsible business owner, these are some things that may happen. I need to be prepared in case they do. So just look at your expenses. You'll be surprised. You may be able to cut some things significantly. But the main thing is making sure that your non-negotiables are not jeopardized, and the things that create that lifeblood of your business, cash flow, money in and money out, are not jeopardized. Okay. Focus on what you can do today. Okay. Focus on what you can do today. You're going to want to hit the pause button, or just eliminate some projects that you may have been working on or wanting to work on that were kind of future things. We need to stick to fundamentals right now. You need to ask yourself, what are my core competencies? What do I do best? What are my fastest paths to cash? How can you make money right here, right now, in today's market? Safeguard yourself. It may mean, that the plans that you have created, either earlier this week, earlier this year, earlier this morning, may just take a little bit of a different course. Okay. They may need to take a different course. Now, I can't remember who said this quote. Who said this quote? I don't remember. And I'm famous for butchering quotes anyways, but the quote is essentially that, when preparing for battle, planning is essential, but during times of battle, basically planning is useless sometimes, right? And I butchered that very, very bad. But your plans, guys, your plans are incredibly important. that time to get clear, get focused, and to create a roadmap, but knowing that you may have to change and shift some plans. I'll give you a prime example of this.